Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice right now. That urge to scroll past this message must be ignored. The enemy is working overtime right now because he knows exactly what shifts in your spirit today. But you did not find this by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here today. God brought you here for a very specific reason, and you need to pay close attention. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly why these strange events are happening to you. I will expose the one lie that is currently keeping you trapped and exhausted. And at the very end, I will give you a specific declaration that will activate the power you have been hiding. Do not click away. Your breakthrough is hiding in these next few minutes. I know exactly what the last few weeks have felt like for you. You are waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning with a heavy weight on your chest. You stare at the dark ceiling while the rest of the world is deeply asleep. Your mind is racing with questions you cannot explain to anyone else. It feels like a silent alarm is ringing inside your spirit, but no one around you can hear it. You are walking through your own home and feeling like a complete stranger. The atmosphere around you has felt incredibly heavy and strange lately. You enter a room, and it feels like the air shifts immediately. Sometimes conversations seem to stop the moment you walk through the door, leaving you wondering if you did something wrong. People look at you differently, but they do not say a word. You are not imagining this shift. You have been called too sensitive your entire life. People tell you that you think too much and feel too deeply. They want you to brush things off and just be normal like them. But you absorb the energy of every room you walk into, and it leaves you feeling completely drained and desperately tired. You give so much to others. You receive almost nothing in return. The enemy wants you to believe you are losing your mind. He wants you to look at this sudden isolation and see it as a curse. He is trying to convince you that you have done something terribly wrong. Because if he can keep you confused, you will never step into your true power. But this means your current struggle is actually proof of your calling. You are a massive threat to his plans. You feel a deep and painful disconnect from the people you love. Friends you have known for years suddenly feel like distant acquaintances. When you try to explain the spiritual weight you carry, they give you blank stares and change the subject. So you have learned to keep your mouth completely shut. You swallow your words. It is easier than being misunderstood again. But the silence is deafening. I need you to hear this loud and clear right now. You are not crazy, and you are not making this up. The spiritual warfare you are experiencing is absolutely real. The heaviness you feel is not anxiety or random stress. It is the friction of your spirit sensing things that the natural eye cannot see, and you were built to sense these exact spiritual shifts. Carrying this kind of spiritual weight is incredibly exhausting. You wake up feeling tired before the day has even started. Your shoulders are tight and your heart feels strangely heavy. You put on a brave face and smile for everyone who needs you, while secretly begging heaven for a moment of rest. You carry their burdens. It feels like you are carrying the weight of the world alone. But I see you, and heaven sees you clearly. Every silent tear you have cried in the dark has been recorded. God knows how hard you have tried to fit into spaces that were simply too small for your spirit. He knows the pain of being rejected by people you tried to help. You have survived things that would have completely broken a normal person, and you did it all in silence. This is why you must understand the true reason behind these attacks. If you do not see the purpose, you will be crushed by the pressure of this season. The strange atmosphere and the sudden departures are part of a larger plan. I promise to tell you exactly why this is happening. The answer is going to change how you look at your entire life. Everything has been leading to this specific moment. There is a specific lie the world has planted inside your head. It is a quiet whisper telling you that your sensitivity is a terrible weakness. It tells you that you will always be alone, and it makes you want to hide from the world completely. This lie drains your energy. We are going to expose that lie and destroy its grip on your mind today. you will finally see the truth. Do not let distraction pull you away from this message. The very fact that you are feeling this resonance proves your spirit is ready. Something deep inside you is waking up to these words right now. You have been crying out for answers and confirmation for months. This is the confirmation you asked for. The long wait is finally over. Your answers are here. You have been looking at your isolation through the wrong lens. You thought heaven was punishing you for some forgotten mistake. You thought the closed doors were signs of your own failure. But the reality of your situation is completely different, because the universe operates on a frequency that most people simply ignore, and you are about to discover what your current frequency is actually doing. But let me completely reframe your reality right now. You need to look at this situation through a totally different spiritual lens. That isolation you have been calling a cruel punishment was never a punishment at all. It was actually your preparation. God did not remove the crowd to abandon you or leave you lonely, but He removed them so He could finally speak to you without any worldly interference. Think about the people who walked out of your life recently. You spent countless hours wondering what you did wrong to push them away, and you replayed every conversation in your head, trying to find your fatal mistake. But your isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is absolute evidence of your selection. They were simply not meant to travel to your next level. The people pulling away from you are not actively rejecting you. They are subconsciously sensing a frequency they cannot yet understand or handle. As your spiritual capacity expands and grows, their natural reaction is to step back because the energy is intense. They are grieving the old version of you that they are about to lose forever. You are vibrating on a completely different level now. Before you go any further, gently press the like button. Do this so this blessing can reach someone else who feels crazy tonight. There are thousands of chosen ones sitting in the dark right now who desperately need to hear this exact validation and find hope. When you share this energy, you help another heavy heart find peace. We must gather the tribe of the misunderstood together. You have spent years begging to fit into places you outgrew long ago. You tried to shrink your spirit to make other people feel comfortable around you. You dulled your own light because you were terrified of blinding them while they enjoyed the warmth of your sacrifice. But you were never meant to be a normal person living an ordinary life. You were built to carry a specific assignment. The universe had to isolate you to protect that precious assignment. If you were surrounded by the wrong voices, you would compromise your calling. You would listen to their earthly logic instead of following your divine intuition. God cleared the room so there would be zero interference when the holy instructions finally arrive for your next step. The silence around you is sacred space. Stop looking at your empty contact list as a sign of failure. Look at it as a clean slate prepared for a massive spiritual upgrade. The friends who faded away were only assigned to your season of survival, and you are stepping into a season of authority where they simply cannot come with you. Heaven is making room for the people who truly belong in your magnificent future. I promised to tell you why all this is happening right now. It is happening because you are standing exactly between two identities. The old identity of the misunderstood victim is rapidly dissolving away into nothing, and the new identity of a powerful chosen one is being birthed in real time, causing a friction between these two realities that explains your current exhaustion. You are not breaking down or losing your mind. You are simply molting and shedding the layers that no longer serve your spirit. Just like an eagle sheds its old feathers to fly higher, you are shedding the weight of your painful past. The process is painful, and it leaves you feeling vulnerable and completely exposed. But this temporary nakedness is required before you receive your new armor. Every closed door in your life recently was actually a divine redirection. Every strange look you received was a confirmation of your shifting energy. They do not know what to do with you because you refuse to fit into their neat little boxes, and you have become the massive question mark in their carefully planned equations. Your mere presence disrupts their comfortable sleep. This is the exact moment you must stop apologizing for who you are. Stop saying sorry when your intuition sees right through their hidden lies. Stop feeling guilty because you require deep conversations instead of shallow small talk. You are a radar designed to pick up spiritual frequencies that normal people completely ignore as they rush through life. What you carry is a powerful weapon. The enemy told you to hide your sensitivity because he fears it deeply. He knows that once you accept this isolation as a gift, his attacks will fail entirely. He wanted you to feel rejected, so you would run back to toxic environments for comfort. But heaven trapped you in this beautiful isolation to heal your broken soul completely. You are hidden in the shadow of the almighty hand. Your pain was never a punishment for things you did in the past. It was a rigorous training program designed to build your spiritual muscles. You had to learn how to stand completely alone before you could lead others. You had to feel the sting of betrayal, so you would learn to trust divine guidance above human promises. The curriculum was brutal, but incredibly necessary. Now you are finally ready to graduate from the wilderness season. The long period of being hidden and misunderstood is coming to a rapid close. But before you can walk out of this desert, you must change your internal perspective, and you must look back at the lonely nights to realize they were your greatest blessing. They forced you to look inward and find the absolute truth. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most people are willing to perceive. Look back at the greatest chosen ones in human history. Not a single one of them stepped into their true power while surrounded by massive crowds. They all had to walk through the crushing silence of the wilderness first. Look at the story of Moses in the ancient texts. He was a prince of Egypt, surrounded by unimaginable wealth and constant noise. But before he could lead his people to freedom, he was stripped of everything. He was cast out into the barren desert, where nobody knew his name. He spent 40 long years thinking his life was completely over. Moses believed he was a forgotten failure hiding in the sand. He thought his isolation was a permanent punishment for his past mistakes. But the desert was never a graveyard for his calling. It was a rigorous classroom designed to strip away the toxic pride of his old life. God had to get him completely alone to finally speak to him. Heaven could not speak to Moses over the loud noise of Egypt. The distractions of his comfortable life would have drowned out the divine voice entirely. So God cleared the room and pushed him into profound isolation. You are experiencing this exact same spiritual pattern in your life today. The noise of your old life was simply too loud. Heaven had to create physical and emotional distance between you and your past. You thought people abandoning you was a tragic and unfair loss. You cried over relationships that ended suddenly without any logical explanation. But God was just clearing the room for you. He desperately needed your undivided attention for the next phase. If your old friends were still sitting at your table right now, they would talk you out of your calling. Their earthly logic would completely crush your emerging spiritual intuition. They would tell you to play it safe and stay in your comfortable little box. So heaven forcefully removed their voices to protect your delicate assignment. You must stop mourning the loss of people who were never meant to stay. Their exit was the exact catalyst required for your spiritual promotion. When they walked away, they made room for the Holy Spirit to pull up a chair. You are not sitting alone in an empty room tonight. You are sitting in a private war room with the Creator. This brings us back to the first promise I made you at the beginning. I promised to reveal exactly why this strange and painful season happened. And that is the exact reason this isolation fell upon you. It was never meant to break you or destroy your spirit. It was designed to prepare you for a weight you could not previously carry. The wilderness is the only place where true prophets are made. It is the holy forge where your spiritual senses are sharpened until they become incredibly precise. You are not wandering aimlessly without a map in this dark season. You are being meticulously trained by the universe for a massive upcoming assignment that requires immense strength. Your old identity was simply too small for what is coming toward you. The universe had to stretch your capacity through pain before handing you the profound reward. A small vessel cannot hold a massive ocean of living water. You had to be broken open so you could contain the immense power heaven is about to pour into your life. Think about the profound silence in your home right now. It feels incredibly lonely when you focus on the empty chairs around your table. But this silence is actually deeply sacred and remarkably beautiful. The quiet space is your ultimate protection from the chaotic frequencies of the world. You are safely hidden in the shadow of grace. Every time you feel that heavy weight pressing on your chest at 3 in the morning, you must remember Moses. He stared at the burning bush in the middle of absolute nowhere. The greatest revelation of his life did not happen in a crowded palace. It happened when he was completely isolated and stripped of his worldly ego. You are standing before your own burning bush right now. The strange atmosphere you feel is the heat of that divine fire. It is burning away the false narratives you have carried for decades. It is purifying your spirit so you can hear the calling with absolute clarity. Do not run away from the beautiful heat of this holy purification. But once that profound truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer, because knowing you are prepared is only half of the massive equation. There is still a deeper root operating beneath it all, and if you do not see it clearly, it will keep you stuck. Coming up, I will expose the deeper reason why those specific people left you. I am going to show you how your changing frequency is physically affecting the people around you. But first, this understanding must land deep in your spirit. Let this truth settle like solid bedrock in your mind tonight. Stay with me, because what I am about to share next is the missing piece that breaks the painful cycle forever. Here is that deeper root I promised to reveal to you. You thought the people who walked away were rejecting your personality. You thought they saw a fatal flaw in you and decided to leave. But their departure had absolutely nothing to do with your worth. The truth is that your spiritual frequency has shifted so dramatically that they can no longer handle your energy. Your vibrations simply outgrew their comfort zone. Every human being operates on a specific spiritual frequency. Most people live their entire lives on a very low and dense vibration. They care about mundane things and gossip about trivial events. But as a chosen one, your frequency was always designed to run much higher. And recently, heaven has turned up the dial on your internal frequency to prepare you for your massive assignment. When your frequency shifts upward, it creates immense friction with the people around you. They feel uncomfortable in your presence, but they cannot explain exactly why. They sense that you are seeing through their shallow conversations and hidden motives. The old version of you used to nod and agree with their complaints, but the new version of you sitting at that table makes them feel incredibly exposed. This is why conversations suddenly stop the moment you walk into a room. They are not plotting against you or laughing behind your back. Their spirits are simply reacting to the massive light you are carrying into the space. Darkness always feels incredibly uncomfortable when a bright light is suddenly turned on in a small room. You are that powerful light. You must stop trying to lower your frequency to make them comfortable. You have spent years dimming your beautiful light just to fit into their dark rooms. You swallowed your profound thoughts because you knew they would not understand them. But every time you dim your light, you are actively grieving the Holy Spirit inside you. You were not created to blend in. Think about the physical exhaustion you feel after spending time with certain people. You feel completely drained after just 1 hour of normal conversation. This is not because you are an introvert who hates social interaction. It happens because your spirit is working overtime to translate your high frequency into their low frequency. It takes a massive amount of energy to shrink yourself. Heaven is removing these people from your inner circle as an act of profound mercy. God knows that if you keep carrying their dense energy, you will completely burn out. He is protecting your delicate assignment by creating a massive spiritual buffer around you. The empty chairs at your table are actually angels standing guard around your calling. You are heavily protected. When heaven upgrades your frequency, it changes how you perceive the entire world. You can suddenly read the hidden intentions behind a fake smile. You can feel the unspoken sadness in a room the moment you walk through the door. This heightened awareness is not a curse designed to make you miserable and isolated. It is the exact tool you need to navigate the massive assignment coming your way. You are standing on a bridge between your past and your glorious future. The people from your past cannot walk across this bridge with you. The spiritual toll is simply too expensive for them to pay. They are meant to stay on the other side and watch you rise from a distance, and you must find the courage to let them go without feeling any lingering guilt. This transition phase is exactly why your home feels so strange right now. The atmosphere is thick because you are shedding old attachments in real time. Your spirit is recalibrating to a much higher dimension of living. It feels lonely because very few people ever reach this level of spiritual maturity. But the profound peace waiting on the other side is completely worth the temporary pain. You must bless the people who walked away and completely release them from your mind. Holding on to anger or resentment will only lower your newly upgraded frequency. They played their specific role in your story, and their chapter is now finished. Turn the page and prepare yourself for the incredible characters heaven is about to introduce. Your true tribe is searching for you right now. Do not look back at the relationships that ended and wonder what you could have done differently. There is absolutely nothing you could have done to save a connection that heaven decided to sever. You cannot force a puzzle piece to fit where it does not belong. Accept the divine redirection with a grateful heart. Your future requires this exact physical and emotional space. But you are probably wondering why you feel everything so deeply. Why does this frequency shift hurt you more than it hurts them? The answer lies in the very nature of the gift you have been carrying since birth. And once you understand how to use this sensitivity, everything will change completely. Coming up, I will show you how to weaponize this exact pain. But first, you must let this revelation about your frequency settle deep in your spirit. You must forgive yourself for outgrowing the people you truly loved. Stop carrying the heavy burden of their misunderstanding on your weary shoulders today. Stay with me, because the next revelation is going to unlock the power you have been hiding. The reason you feel everything so intensely is not a flaw in your design. The world looked at your deep empathy and labeled it a massive weakness. They told you to toughen up and stop being so emotional about every little thing that happens. But they did not understand the magnificent machinery operating inside your spirit. You are not broken or defective. You are highly specialized for a spiritual war. Since you were a little child, you absorbed the emotional weight of every room you entered. If someone was silently crying in the corner, your heart felt incredibly heavy immediately. You took on their pain as if it belonged to your own physical body. This constant absorption leaves you feeling completely drained and exhausted at the very end of the day. You thought this was a terrible curse you had to bear. But let me tell you the absolute truth about your sensitive spirit today. What you carry in your chest is not a bleeding wound that needs constant healing. It is a highly sophisticated weapon. Your deep sensitivity is actually a spiritual radar designed to detect hidden danger instantly. It picks up the invisible frequencies that normal people blindly walk right past every single day without noticing. Think about how many times your gut feeling warned you about a specific person. Your eyes saw a friendly smile, but your spirit felt a freezing coldness underneath it. You probably ignored that warning because you wanted to be polite and give them a fair chance. And every single time you ignored that internal alarm, you ended up getting deeply hurt by their actions. Your radar was working perfectly all along. The enemy completely hates your sensitivity because it ruins his hidden traps entirely. He cannot sneak up on a chosen one whose radar is fully activated and running smoothly. So he spent years trying to convince you that your gift was actually a heavy mental burden. He wanted you to hate the very thing that makes you incredibly powerful in the spirit realm. He almost succeeded in silencing your intuition. But heaven gave you this profound empathy for a very specific divine assignment on earth. You cannot heal the broken people of this world if you cannot feel their hidden pain first. You are a spiritual first responder called to the absolute front lines of the battlefield. The heavy weight you feel is just the necessary equipment required to do this massive job. You were built exclusively for this purpose. The depth that made you feel like you were simply too much is your greatest asset now. It is the exact thing that gives your words the heavy weight to shift atmospheres completely. When you speak from that place of deep sensitivity, demons have to listen and immediately obey. You do not need to yell to command massive authority in the spiritual realm today. Your pure frequency does all the heavy lifting. You have to stop apologizing for feeling things deeper than everyone else around you. Stop trying to numb your brilliant radar just to survive a normal Tuesday afternoon at work. You are a majestic eagle trying to pretend you are a common pigeon picking up dirty crumbs. The sky is calling your name loudly, but you are staring down at the broken pavement. Look up and see your true glorious nature today. However, there is a massive difference between carrying your radar and being crushed by it daily. You have been absorbing the toxic energy of the world without setting any healthy boundaries. You walk into a crowded grocery store and accidentally carry home the heavy grief of 5 complete strangers. This is why you wake up at 3 in the morning feeling completely exhausted. You are carrying stolen luggage. You must learn the holy art of observing energy without actually absorbing it into your soul. You can see the pain in someone else without pulling it directly into your own beating chest. When you master this simple boundary, your sensitivity stops being a heavy burden instantly. It finally becomes the powerful tool it was always meant to be in your hands. You get to control the magnificent radar yourself. Once you establish this spiritual boundary, the heavy exhaustion will completely vanish forever. You will still read the room instantly, but you will not drown in its turbulent waters anymore. Your empathy will become a sharp sword instead of a heavy sponge soaking up dirty emotional water. Heaven is upgrading your spiritual operating system right now as you listen. You just have to accept the new download. But here is the part of the journey that no one ever wants to talk about openly. We have blamed the enemy for your exhaustion, and we have blamed the dense people all around you. We have framed your beautiful sensitivity as the ultimate weapon against the approaching darkness. But there is a hidden block sitting right in the middle of your own chest today, and it is not coming from the outside world at all. The thing that is quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is incredibly subtle and quiet. It is an internal agreement you made a long time ago when you were deeply hurting inside. Coming up next, I am going to gently expose this hidden block so you can finally remove it. But first, you must prepare your heart for a slightly uncomfortable truth. Stay with me for the most important revelation of your life. And here is the part that no one ever wants to hear. We have spent this entire time talking about the external attacks, while completely ignoring the silent battle happening inside your own mind. We talked about the dense people and the enemy working overtime to stop you. But I promise to expose the deeper root of your exhaustion today. The biggest obstacle is not outside of you at all. I need you to listen to this next part with a completely open heart. I say this with nothing but pure love, because this is not an accusation or a harsh judgment of your character. It is simply the spiritual diagnosis that will finally set your weary soul completely free. The thing quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is actually you. You have spent years begging heaven to remove the heavy obstacles in your path. You prayed for closed doors to open and for the relentless attacks to suddenly stop. But heaven has been waiting quietly for you to realize a profound truth about your situation. You are the one keeping the heavy door firmly shut because you are incredibly afraid of your own power. Deep down inside your spirit, you know exactly how magnificent you truly are. You can feel the massive weight of the calling resting heavily on your tired shoulders, and that profound magnitude actually terrifies you more than any demonic attack ever could, because you understand what it will cost you. You are completely terrified of what happens when you finally stop hiding. You have been dimming your beautiful light on purpose for many years now. You lower your natural frequency just to make sure nobody feels intimidated by your presence. You call this behavior being humble and polite to the fragile people around you. But it is not true humility at all, and it is actually a toxic agreement you made with absolute smallness. True humility is not shrinking yourself so other people feel big and comfortable. True humility is stepping fully into the massive size heaven created you to be. When you hide your magnificent gifts, you are actually insulting the divine creator who meticulously formed you. He forged a powerful weapon for the front lines, but you keep hiding safely in the back row. You are no longer afraid of failing or making a fool of yourself. You have survived way too much pain to care about simple earthly failure anymore. What you are truly afraid of right now is absolute success. You are terrified of the immense responsibility that comes with being fully activated, because once you wake up, you cannot ever go back to sleep. Stepping into your true identity means you can never play small again. It means you have to stand tall and lead others through the dark and scary wilderness. You will become a massive target for the enemy, and you will have to fight on a much higher spiritual level. The little child inside you just wants to rest safely in the quiet shadows. So you created a comfortable little prison cell out of your own daily doubts. You wait for God to magically rescue you from a cage that literally has no lock. But staying in this safe zone is quietly destroying your beautiful soul from the inside out. The unexpressed power inside you is turning into heavy anxiety, and you are slowly rusting under the pressure. The enemy absolutely loves this current arrangement in your life right now. He does not even have to send major demonic attacks against your house anymore. He just sits back and watches you fight yourself every single morning before you even get out of bed. He watches you talk yourself out of every brilliant idea heaven gracefully downloads into your brilliant mind. This breaks the heart of heaven because you carry the exact medicine the world needs. There are broken people out there who will only heal when they hear your specific voice. Your unique frequency is the exact key that unlocks their heavy chains of bondage. But they are still suffering in the dark because you are simply too afraid to stand up and speak loudly. It is time to completely break this toxic agreement with smallness today. You do not need anyone else to give you permission to be incredibly powerful. You do not need another prophetic word or a special glowing sign falling from the sky. The power has been sitting quietly inside your chest since the day you were born, and you just have to finally claim it. I am looking right at the fierce warrior hiding behind those tired eyes today. The long season of waiting for a magical rescue boat is officially over forever. Heaven is blowing the loud trumpet and calling you to the absolute front lines of the battle. You must drop the heavy baggage of your false humility right now, because it is time to pick up your sword. Every strange thing that happened this year was pushing you toward this exact realization. The isolation was simply heaven forcing you to look directly in the spiritual mirror. God removed the noisy crowd so you could finally see your own glowing reflection clearly. You are the beautiful breakthrough you have been waiting for, and everything you need is already inside you. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything in your life shifts completely. This is the critical juncture where the old identity dies and the new one takes its first breath. I promised you a specific declaration that would seal this massive transformation forever. Coming up next is the exact moment you take your rightful place, so get ready to speak it out loud. This is your exact moment to step completely into the beautiful light. Not tomorrow morning when you feel a little more rested. Not next week when you think you are finally ready. Right here and right now, in this exact second. The universe has paused everything just to witness your beautiful rebirth, and you must claim the ultimate victory after surviving the brutal wilderness alone. I want you to stop whatever you are doing right now. Place your right hand firmly over your beating chest. Feel the steady rhythm of the beautiful life heaven placed inside you. That heartbeat is a massive miracle, proving you have a profound purpose. Take a deep breath and close your tired eyes while we speak the holy declaration that breaks the heavy chains. Repeat these words out loud with absolute conviction in your voice. I release the heavy need to be understood by everyone around me. I release every toxic agreement I ever made with smallness and fear. I forgive myself for dimming my brilliant light to make other people feel comfortable. I am stepping out of the dark shadows because I am reclaiming my beautiful spiritual authority today. I understand that my painful isolation was always preparation. It was never a cruel punishment meant to destroy my weary soul. I accept the massive calling that heaven placed upon my life before I was even born. I no longer shrink back from the profound power resting inside my own chest. I am a chosen one, and I fully embrace the intense frequency I was designed to carry. My breakthrough is not something I have to chase anymore. It is already here, and it is activating in my spirit right now. I completely sever every spiritual tie to the people who drain my energy. I command the heavy anxiety to leave my mind and never return to me. I walk forward boldly because I am fully prepared for the massive assignment waiting for me. Take one more incredibly deep breath and let it all go. Something massive just shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around you. You might literally feel a physical lightness in your shoulders and your chest right now. That is the heavy yoke of false humility falling completely off your physical body. The prison door is wide open, and you just confidently walked out into the bright, beautiful sunshine. But I need you to understand what this declaration actually means for you. This was not just a positive affirmation to make you feel temporary relief. You just sent a massive shockwave directly into the spiritual realm. The enemy heard your fierce voice, and he is completely terrified of your new posture. He knows his long season of intimidating you is officially over forever because you woke up. The profound peace you feel right now is your new baseline. You are never going back to the exhausted version of yourself who constantly apologized. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the heavy weight will not be sitting on your chest. You will open your eyes and feel a steady confidence anchoring your brilliant soul because you are finally aligned with your true divine frequency and nothing can break it. This means the relationships you lost are never coming back to drain you, and you are finally going to be absolutely okay with that permanent closure. Heaven is already moving the right people toward your path to support your new season, and these new connections will perfectly match your high frequency without ever asking you to shrink. You will finally experience true spiritual family. The financial struggles and the closed doors are also shifting rapidly today. When you step into your true identity, you naturally attract absolute divine abundance. You stopped blocking the massive blessings by falsely believing you did not truly deserve them. The universe is responding to your new authority by aligning incredible opportunities. while every single old delay is completely broken off your magnificent life. You do not have to figure out all the complicated steps today. Your only job right now is to protect this beautiful peace and maintain your firm boundaries. When the enemy tries to whisper his old lies tomorrow, you will simply laugh at him. His cheap tricks cannot work on a chosen one who knows exactly who they are, because you hold the ultimate power and you are the one in complete control now. Every time you feel overwhelmed, you must remember this exact moment. Remember how it felt to place your hand on your chest and reclaim your own life. That profound feeling of absolute liberation is your new, permanent, spiritual weapon. Whenever the world tries to push you back into a tiny box, you will pull this weapon out, and you will slash through their toxic expectations to remain totally free forever. The season of painful preparation is officially and completely finished. You have graduated from the brutal wilderness and stepped directly into the promised land. The heavy tears you cried in the dark have watered the beautiful seeds of your bright future. You are about to see a massive harvest springing up in every single area of your life, and the long, cold winter is finally over because your bright spring has officially arrived. Everything you endured over the last few years was never wasted, because heaven was meticulously preparing you for this exact moment of beautiful transition. You are not the misunderstood victim holding onto a tragic story anymore. You are the chosen one who survived the brutal fire, and you came out of that fire completely purified and ready to lead. The heavy burden of your painful past is finally lifted off your tired shoulders today. You do not need anyone else to give you permission to step into this. You do not need their validation to prove that your beautiful calling is absolutely real. The authority was given to you by heaven long before you took your very first breath. Release every lingering agreement you made with delay and smallness today. You are standing on holy ground right now, and your sensitive spirit is completely awake and fully activated for the coming season. I need you to understand that your massive breakthrough is not coming tomorrow. It is not waiting for you somewhere in the distant future. It is already here, and it is already moving powerfully in your life. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. The long season of painful wandering is officially over, while your true divine assignment starts the exact moment this video completely ends. When you lay your head on your pillow tonight, you will feel a profound difference. The heavy weight that used to crush your chest at 3 in the morning is completely gone. You will sleep with the steady peace of someone who finally knows their exact purpose. Heaven is actively standing guard over your beautiful mind right now. You are perfectly safe, and you are incredibly loved by the divine creator who meticulously formed your brilliant soul. Tomorrow morning, the sun will rise on a completely different version of your beautiful soul. You will drink your coffee and notice that the heavy, anxious chatter in your mind has finally stopped. The silence in your house will no longer feel like a tragic, lonely punishment. It will feel like a luxurious and sacred sanctuary designed exclusively for your healing. You have finally come home to your true self after years of wandering in the dark. When old, toxic friends try to pull you back into their drama, you will simply smile. You will not feel the urgent need to fix their broken situations or absorb their heavy pain. Your new spiritual boundaries are constructed from solid titanium and absolute grace. You can deeply love them from a safe distance while protecting your own energy fiercely, because you finally understand that your peace is worth far more than their temporary validation. Even when you are physically alone in a room, you are never truly isolated anymore. There are massive legions of angels standing completely at attention around your life. They are waiting for you to speak your divine declarations so they can move into rapid action. Your voice carries the heavy authority required to shift the spiritual atmosphere instantly. Use that magnificent voice to bless your beautiful future and watch how quickly the universe aligns with your bold commands. Look back at everything that tried to completely destroy your spirit over the years. Look at the intense betrayals and the silent nights where you thought you were going crazy. None of those terrible weapons prospered against your magnificent calling. They only served to sharpen your intuition and build your massive spiritual muscles. You are absolutely unstoppable in this new, upgraded frequency, and the enemy is terrified of what you are about to accomplish next. So take a deep breath and let the beautiful reality of your ultimate victory settle in. You fought the invisible demons, and you completely reclaimed your stolen authority today. The universe is celebrating your massive awakening with absolute joy and profound pride. Step confidently forward into the beautiful abundance that is waiting patiently for you. Your breakthrough is permanently secured, because heaven has already written the glorious ending to your magnificent story of redemption. Share this message with someone who has also been called too sensitive their entire life. Send this to the beautiful person who feels like they are carrying the weight of the whole world alone. When you share this energy, you help gather the scattered tribe of chosen ones together. We must remind each other that our deep sensitivity is a massive weapon. Be the glorious light that pulls another beautiful soul completely out of the dark. Subscribe and turn on all notifications right now before you leave this page. Do this so you never miss the next profound revelation about who you really are. The truth about your magnificent calling is being systematically buried by the loud noise of the world, but we will continue to expose those hidden lies together in this safe spiritual space while we build a powerful family of chosen ones who refuse to be silenced anymore. You have survived the absolute hardest part of this beautiful journey, completely alone. You faced the terrifying wilderness, and you found your true voice, hiding quietly in the silence. The tragic days of playing small to make fragile people comfortable are completely finished. Walk boldly into your rooms tomorrow and let them feel the massive shift in your frequency. Do not apologize for the brilliant light you are carrying, because the world desperately needs your magnificent illumination. They might not understand the new version of you, and that is absolutely fine. They are not meant to understand a spiritual language they never actually learned to speak. Your beautiful life is a living testimony of divine grace and absolute resilience. Keep your head held high and guard your peaceful boundaries with everything you have. You are completely ready for this next incredible chapter, and heaven is walking right beside you every single step of the way.